Even if your child is not at the age of, let's say, like a teenager, really actively engaging in social media, using different apps to engage with other peers or strangers even before that, these kids are engaging and playing with new technology that is allowing them to communicate with anybody, anywhere in the world, at virtually any time. Not everybody's a nice person. There are people out there that know that kids are actively engaged in these games, and they know what to say. They're predators. They know what to say, what to do, and how to get them. It's not your kid's fault, but it's your fault if you're not helping them. So you're not being a helicopter parent, you're protecting your child. And part of that is not allowing these games to be played in a private area. So from a technology standpoint, what can you do? What's one thing that you could do? I'm going to give you one tip because there's a lot of things out there. So let's start with something really simple. If your kid is really active on these games and they're communicating with people all over the world, one technology tip is you should get a VPN, a virtual private network. And what that does is it masks your IP address. It's the only real way to really protect yourself using a piece of technology. And what that does is it masks everything about you, where you live, your name, everything. Because if somebody really wants to find you out there, they can use your IP address to get that information. So this virtual private network will mask all of that. And you can get that very simply by calling your internet service provider and discussing that with them. They can assign one to you, or you can even go online. There's many providers out there that can sell one to you. So from a technology standpoint, that's one thing you can do. Now, what about in general? What are the rules of your household? So if your child is younger and they're active on these gaming sites, they're a big time gamer, that PC should be in a public area of your home where you're spending a majority of your time, whether it be in your kitchen, in your living room, in the family room, a den, office, wherever you spend most of your time, so that you can actually hear what your child is doing. I know that might sound a little annoying, but as parents, that's what we're supposed to do. So some tips about that. You want to listen to what your kids are doing. You want to tell them what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and what's going to be dangerous. And what's dangerous is telling anybody online their name. They should only be using a screen name, and their screen name or username should not be anything remotely like their actual name. Okay, that's the first thing. Tell your kids, don't ever tell anybody where you live. Forget about your street address. You don't even need to tell them the state, okay? If you want to tell them the state, state's the safest thing. Otherwise, you're from America, you're from Canada, you're from Switzerland, whatever. But you never tell them where you live, okay? So those are some of the most important things, because these predators are very sophisticated. They use voice changers to sound like kids. You would just really, you could go nuts if you knew all the things that these people can do. So it's important to know what your kids are doing, know who they're communicating with as best that you can, because you're not going to know who they're communicating with. If your son is communicating with a friend from Canada who says they're an 8-year-old boy, that's really all you can go by. But monitor your child's activities when they're playing these games. So that's when they're younger. Social media, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. I have a love-hate relationship with all of these platforms. Snapchat, did you know that people can find your location on Snapchat? Well, they can. Kids love it. Also causes a lot of anxiety. They say, oh, look, oh, Joe and everybody's together in this little section and I'm home. Not a great thing. So here's the deal. Your children belong to you. You should spy on them. If you don't like the word spy on them, you should, how about just know what they're doing? Ask them. Ask them to see that you want to see the phone. It's your phone. Check the phone. Talk to them. Tell them how they can be safe. Tell them never to give their names out, never to give out their addresses, their telephone numbers, or any identifiable information that's going to allow a predator to find them.